Tim, the Woodworking Maniac, and today I'm actually turning a pen that has my logo in it. It was actually a custom-made pen blank by a friend of mine, John Pierce. This is John. He made 3 different ones of these that have logos in the resin itself. And he made one for Bob Blanford of RJB Woodturners and Mike Fulton of MF Woodshop. They are also posting a few videos showing how they turn their pens. So, John, thank you. It was a very, very fun thing to turn, and I think the pen came out looking pretty good. So let's get to turning.
So John already had this pen blank barrel trimmed and ready to go. All I needed to do was put it on the bushings and start turning. So Bob and Mike were actually visiting down here at my retail store that I opened up, and I'm turning this pen blank on a lathe that I have set up for demonstrations in my store. I didn't have a pen kit or anything for this blank, but Bob just happened to have a Wall Street pen kit with him that he provided to me, so I can actually just turn this pen and get it finished. When pen turning, I really like to use carbide tools, especially when I'm turning acrylic. Now, I usually start off with the detail tool and take off the edges just so I get rid of those sharp corners. Once I have the corners knocked down, I usually move on to the finisher. Now, I'm not actually using it for finishing, I use it for roughing, and because it's actually so aggressive, it doesn't leave a very smooth finish on acrylics. So I rough it down to round, and then I will move on to the rougher, which is actually even smoother of a finish, and that will actually be what I use to finish out the pen. When turning acrylics on this small jet lathe, I have found that it turns the best on its medium belt setting with the highest speed it can go on that setting, which is around 25 to 2600 RPM. And I do that from start to finish on turning the pen. Then, when I'm getting ready to do sanding, I'll actually drop it down to the lower belt speed and the slowest speed that the lathe can go, which is around 500 RPM. With this being a resin blank, I don't have to do any extra finish to it. I can go straight to sanding. And I'm actually going to be using micro mesh pads. That's 9 steps of sanding between 1200 grit to 12,000 grit. Between that, it's going to sand it smooth and polish it all through those grits. Now, this is a wet sanding process, so using these pads, I'm actually dipping them in water. This way, the pads don't just gum up with a bunch of the sanding dust. It actually kind of keeps it clean. It actually ends up creating a bit of a slurry, which is kind of what you want. And I also use the water to clean off the pads after every single one that I go through. After sanding through 12,000 grit, this is very well polished. But I actually go one step further, and I use a white diamond polishing compound to polish it up to almost a glass smooth finish. Now, to do this, I have to set the speed of the lathe all the way to its highest setting on the lowest belt speed, which is around 1200 RPM. Then I rub on the actual white diamond compound and then buff that off using a paper towel. Now it's time to get this blank off of the lathe and put it together, just so I can see the finished product. Before pressing the pen together, I decided to go ahead and vacuum up all these shavings that got everywhere. However, I made a mistake. Yeah, wait for it. Water everywhere. I didn't move the water that I had sitting on top of the lathe.
You got that on video too, right?
Oh, I think so.
Good thing it's a wet vac.
You have to get a box.
Bob cleaning up a mess.
There we go. Everybody has to have a job.
Hey,
And
I got proof that Bob does do work.
Yeah,
Hey,
there you go.
luckily, My wife doesn't watch your videos.
This is a Wall Street pen kit from Woodcraft. This is probably the most simple pen kit I have ever assembled. All you have to do is press in the end cap and the rest of it just kind of goes together. Now, Rockler also has one called a Manhattan, and Penn State also has one called a Gatsby that are very similar to this kit.
You don't want to polish it first?
I did polish.
Oh, I missed that.
I'm about to press in the back, and I want to make sure that the clip is all the way on the back side of the blank, because one, there's a little seam on the back that I kind of want to cover up, and also I don't want the clip to actually go over my logo. The rest of the kit, I already assembled it. All I have to do is press it into this blank, and I'm done.
All of them are like that. The Sierra's like that.
Huh.
You can
Yeah,
go,
that's
man.
nice.
It's a good looking pen. The
Nice.
gold goes great with the logo,
Yeah.
and the gunmetal goes great with the logo.
And there you have it. Now, I think that pen looks pretty cool.
So yeah, this is a fun pen to turn. I've never turned Alumilite before, and that turned so smooth. I was actually very surprised. I've turned many acrylics, and they turn totally different. This is a very thin shaving that it creates, and just so light and airy. It was really neat. But these pens came out really awesome. Definitely check out Bob's and Mike's videos. I've got the links down below. Check out their videos as well. And John, thank you very much for this pen blank. It looks great. I'm very happy with it. Hope you all enjoyed watching this video, and definitely check out some of the other videos that I've got back there. I've got a few turning videos and just some other just random projects and stuff. But there'll be a lot more to come. Definitely follow along. You all have a great day. God bless.